Good afternoon. Chris Lee and Graham Doty of Southeastern 16 here. Congratulations to the LSU Tigers, your 2025 national champions. We're here to talk about it. LSU defeats Coastal Carolina 5-3, wins the series 2-0. Incredible performance by the Tigers. The pitching was tremendous start to finish. Graham, we'll talk about that. We'll take your questions. Super chats, always welcome. Always appreciate those. We'll put up the membership information if you want to join our members only tier in a minute. And I'm just going to put this out here ahead of time. I've got a teenage birthday party going on behind me. And I'm not going to leave my wife alone for too long. So this might not be the hour-and-a-half stream we normally do. But we're going to do it justice. We're going to talk about it. Graham, I'm going to start with you. Thoughts on LSU, what it did today, and what it did in Omaha? Because, my goodness, the pitching came through for the Tigers. The elite arms pitched like it, and that is my biggest takeaway.
Yeah, same for me. Ianson was really good today, finishing with the 9 strikeouts, 6 1/3. Did give up 7 hits, but I thought he was excellent, and he's a big reason why LSU is the national champs. Just that 1-2 punch of what they have at the top of their rotation, and then just the arms they have, in their bullpen. And they didn't even use Evans today. He was warming up late, just in case. But another game changer for me, Chris, was down the stretch. Just Shores. He elevated his game. He stepped up, and I don't know what it was, but something just clicked with him, and he was automatic down the stretch for LSU. And it looks like he's only got 2 pitches, like 101, and then his hook, his slider, which is like 89, and those 2 pitches get it done for him.
Yeah, I mean, that was one thing that I noted several times in the tournament. I thought one of the biggest takeaways for LSU was that Chase Shores was pitching like the Chase Shores that LSU thought it was getting when it got Chase Shores. And if you're new here, yes, we know about the injuries and all that. We're not putting that aside, but Chase Shores was a little bit of a wild card coming into the postseason. Yeah. And he kept turning up in spots and pitching well. At the end of the day, I thought it was very interesting. And I don't know if it was matchup related or what, but the fact that they went to him when they had a lockdown closer in Casey Evans, and they went to Chase Shores, that was really, really telling to me in Jay Johnson's faith of him, because they had another guy that has just been untouchable too.
Yeah. And I mean, it was pretty obvious, like, Coastal, they haven't seen anybody that can go 101, 102 pretty consistently.
Yeah.
You're not going to get that in the Sun Belt. Like, no offense to the Sun Belt, but Shores, when he's down in like that, I mean, he's incredibly tough to beat. Again, to go from consistently seeing 100 and then the slider is like 88, 89, it can just be suffocating for whoever's at the plate.
Yeah, the only bad thing, I don't think Chase Shores was coming back for senior year anyway. Occasionally, a guy with huge upside will come back and say, hey, look, I'm going to give it one more go, prove that I'm a first-round talent. Forget that after today. But you'll take it if you're LSU. I don't think that was happening anyway. But I'm really curious now where he goes in the draft, because I've not seen any mock drafts or anything. But if Chase Shores is off the board in round 1, I'm not surprised.
Really? You think he's got the chance to go that high?
Well, I mean, that's what he was out of high school.
Okay.
So why not now that he's healthy now? I mean, you have to develop some other pitches and everything, but that's what the minors are for. I mean, there's not a lot of guys out there that are 6'9", throwing 102.
Right. I think his role at the next level is kind of like what it has been in the tournament for LSU. I mean, a bullpen guy that you can put out there in the 6th that can maybe stretch it 3 innings or so. I just kind of think that is what's next for him. He kind of reminds me a little bit of like what happened with Ole Miss and Dylan DeLucia.
Yep.
Like, DeLucia really came out of nowhere and was the most outstanding player for Ole Miss in 2022. He ended up being, I think, like a 4th or 5th round pick. Now, the difference between the two is he's a starter and Shores is going to be a bullpen guy. And obviously Shores is pumping it in there at 101. So like they're similar in that they both kind of came on like out of their mind down the home stretch, and they're going to certainly climb the draft board. So he'll be one to watch for sure. I am fascinated to see what his career looks like the rest of the way.
Look, he's a bullpen guy, but there's no way a pro team isn't going to want to try to make him a starter.
Yeah.
Again, that may take some time. He's just getting back and everything. I don't know what his third and fourth pitches look like, but nobody's super worried about that at the moment. I mean, you take that and you figure it out.
When do you want to dive into what happened in the first inning? Like, do you want to talk about like what this means for LSU, Jay Johnson, or do we want to dive into the umpire conversation?
Well, I think we need to give LSU its flowers first. That's the story, and we'll get there. But look, when is the last time? First of all, when's the last time a team won a national title and it threw 3 guys in the title series? And by the way, you could see all 3 of those guys in the first round.
Yeah,
that would be another many of firsts.
I'm gonna guess that has not happened. That has not happened.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess it
very
hasn't
often.
either. Yeah. So we got that, and really, the bats weren't. I mean, LSU had 10 hits today. It was really that one big inning. What was it, the fourth, when Morrison left some pitches up, and LSU made him pay. I think Jones had a hit in that inning. I think Milam had a hit in that inning. Stanfield had one of the 2 biggest hits of the game, knocked in 2, and then Curiel knocked one past second base. And really, that's all they needed.
I think the key for LSU, they kind of got to Morrison pretty early. Now, Coastal, they got the lead first. Like, they scored in the second inning, but didn't really phase LSU very much at all. And then once LSU kind of settled in, that second time through the lineup when they faced Morrison, that's when they really just kind of turned it on. And once they got the lead, it just felt like it was a ball game.
Yeah. I mean, you leave a couple belt high. LSU was just wearing out that outside corner of the plate. That's where everybody was pitching this tournament. LSU really sat and waited for one to get a little bit in a spot where it could get hit, and you saw several in that inning. Einstein was pretty good for them today. Maybe not his best game. Maybe got tired a little bit towards the end, gave up a bomb. I mean, but hey, how about that though, too? Not just using 3 starting pitchers, but you're using 3 starting pitchers in just heat out there.
Yeah.
That's got to be another thing. If you're a pro scout, you are checking some boxes there.
Yeah, without a doubt, because it was 98, 99, 1:30 Central Time first pitch. I mean, it was hot. Like, it looked hot on TV. Having been there, I know you've been there too in person. Like, a lot of people don't think, you're from the South, like you should be used to it. I mean, it's still hot. Yeah, and you got to deal with it. And he was certainly able to kind of bear down and figure it out. His last 2 starts, by the way, at the end of it, he just looked gassed. Like, you could tell he just left everything out there on the mound.
Did they name an MVP?
They did. It was Anderson.
I thought it would be Anderson or maybe Milam. I figured it would be Anderson.
Anderson, he won both of his starts, and his ERA was under 1.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
That will do it. Yeah, Cheddar Goblin says it. I mean, using 3 pitchers was not on their bingo card.
Yeah.
I mean, that's hard to do at any point in the season. But
I mean, I'm going to guess like they may be the only team that's ever done that.
I mean, somebody in the 50s may have done it.
Right.
Guys did that. I'm not going to go look back that far. Someone will, ESPN Stats and Info, or someone will have that. But that's 6 titles in a row for the SEC. And LSU is the only team that's got multiple ones. I think you have to say that right now. Not just that, but given LSU's history, its tradition, its fan support, its facilities, its NIL, you name it. Guys in the draft.
Yeah,
they're the premier program now. That's a tough discussion, but they are back on top.
Well, I mean, they got the trophy case to show for it, and just all the big leaguers that they produce as well. So, also, I don't know if you saw the stat they flashed out. Jay Johnson is the fastest head coach of anybody in the history of the game to win 2 national championships in 4 years. Nobody else has ever done that.
Yep. Yep. I mean, just history all over the place. I mean, that's the other thing too. A lot of kids on that team really wanted to be at LSU. This is the era of no loyalty,
Mm-hmm.
transfer portal, all that. You know, McKade Anderson couldn't even speak when they talked to him after the game. He said, "I'm having trouble here." You had other guys on that team that same thing. I'm trying to think, did LSU have any key pieces leave the last couple of years? I mean, they had some guys that left that weren't playing there much, but maybe I'm trying to think.
No, I can't
Gosh,
think of anybody like a key player transferring out. I can't remember anything like that.
well, they had like the guy at Dallas Baptist, for instance, that barely pitched for them last year that became Dallas Baptist #2. I've forgotten the name. They had maybe another hitter that went to Penn State or Rutgers. They had somebody that went up north, I think, and had a pretty good year. Paxton Kling, thank you. How about that?
There you go, Johnny on the spot.
His screen name is Paxton, and he just put Kling. I don't know if that's coincidence or maybe it's Paxton Kling himself. I don't know. But point is, I feel like they kept most of the guys, if not all the guys they really wanted, other than maybe some depth pieces. And I think that points to culture too. I like the way they went about their business. In this era of showboating and the coaching stuff we'll get into in a minute, I just thought the way they conducted themselves. I'm big on act like you've been here before. And LSU had that vibe all tournament. And by the way, yes, Sam Dutton. That's one. That was a big loss, but Dutton was, I don't know,
what he
8th or 9th
was
guy on the staff a year ago.
Yeah, what he was at Auburn, like he was not that guy at LSU.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, everything about the way LSU went about its business. Brady Neal at Alabama too, but he went there, didn't do a whole lot this year, and they had 3 guys that could catch, that probably had better seasons at LSU than Brady Neal did.
Yeah.
Hernandez had a better year than Neal did for sure. So,
yeah, without a doubt.
But yeah, I mean, just everything about the way they did it. And again, I just think Jay Johnson is an elite coach. It's not just the recruiting, but it's the development. It's the pacing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the knowing how to play around in the season and find out what do you have and what can I trust when we get to the finish line. And I've said it before, but if people are new, I'll say it again because it deserves to be said. He's as good at figuring that out and pacing the season as any coach I've ever seen.
I agree. Like, he's just impressive when you talk to him. We talked to him before the season, and you just watch him at his like pre-game press conferences, post-game press conferences. It's easy to see why he wins wherever he goes. And now he's at a spot where he's going to have essentially anything and everything that he can ask for. And like I'm just really impressed by him. Like the way he handled the Daniel Dickinson situation last night post game, like, he got asked about it. I thought he had a phenomenal answer and just, I don't know, just screams like we go about our business. We respect the game respects us. And I mean, as long as he is at LSU, they are going to be a major factor.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, let's get to that first inning in just a minute. Before we do that, I'm going to see if I can pull this up. Let's see. Shoot. Well, I'll tell you what. While I'm taking care of some back end stuff here, continue with the thought before we get to the coaching thing. Nothing like putting you on the spot there, huh?
Yeah. Well, I was looking at the chat, seeing what people were seeing and everything. I'll tell you what stands out to me, especially when you go on social media, boy, the anti-SEC thing is like, it just blows my mind. Again, this is 6 in a row now that the SEC has won the whole thing baseball wise, and just the people that are saying that like the SEC cheats and all this stuff, like some of the things that you see just blows my mind. on social media. Whoa, there's like
Yeah,
15
you
of
can
us.
see what I'm trying to do now. Didn't do it very well. Well, I'll tell you what I was getting to. I was going to show you some stuff from our buddies at Game Time Sidekicks. They have officially licensed stainless steel drinkware. They will have an LSU commemorative championship cup soon. I thought they might have it on the site, but they don't yet. Officially licensed stainless steel drinkware. It looks like this. It's great. It's a work of art that you hold in your hand. Hey, look who's here. We got company. I'll get to him in just a minute. I put ice in this thing this morning, left it outside for a couple hours. It has still got ice in it. When I say this morning, I'm talking 7 in the morning. It's 5 in the afternoon, still got all the ice in here. My drink is cold. Top of the market quality, double wall vacuum insulated, logo printing, product decoration done in Knoxville. Tons of designs, logos offered for each school. They even offer the college vault line, everything from stainless steel sippy cups, tumblers, 40-ounce bottles, and shaker cups. SE16 for the 10% discount to viewers. Go to GameTimeSidekicks.com. Get your stuff. Again, they will have a line of LSU title stuff out very soon. Tonight, tomorrow, I don't know when, but it is coming. So go to GameTimeSidekicks.com. Use your promo code SE16. Get 10% off your order. Holy buckets, Jay Greason.
How we doing, guys?
We are doing well.
You're not doing as well as Eric and the rest of our LSU faithful.
No. And by the way, Cheddar, Eric, you guys have been terrific. Thank you for being here. Hal's been here a long time with us.
Caleb as well.
Caleb, of course, Caleb. And even Sven and Wes, fans of Mississippi State and Oklahoma, showed up. Those guys have been loyalists to us too. Love having you guys here. Jay Greason, you're just joining us. I know you had some softball tournament stuff to take care of today, but I know you got to watch a little bit of it. Your thoughts on what you saw with LSU?
One, big props to we've talked through the year and a tumultuous year for Mississippi State about how great their fans are and how great their baseball program is. Brother, nobody rallies up and goes to Omaha like purple and gold. I mean, and they were there from first pitch to last. And that was my first takeaway. My biggest takeaway is from whoever the first days of when Abner Doubleday stole this game from whoever he stole it from, you're never going to be bad if you've got great pitching. Ever.
Yeah.
Never, ever, 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 ever.
Yeah.
And Mr. Ianson and Mr. Anderson, they were already going to make a whole lot of money next month. They just made a little more.
Graham, I don't know if you remember this. When I was going through the preseason and doing power rankings, I looked at this roster and the talent that Jay Johnson had assembled, and I was just thinking, I don't know if I shared this with you or not, but I said, if A&M wasn't your defending national champion or your national runner-up, and everybody's preseason number one, you might have picked LSU. There were so many guys there. And look, it doesn't – all those guys don't always pop, okay? Several guys on the roster I don't think gave LSU all that they're capable of giving. William Schmidt being one, true freshman, and I'm not saying that to knock him, but here's what I'm getting at. When you assemble that much talent, a lot of them are going to hit. Some of them have been hit during the season. I say hit, I mean hit as players hit their ceiling or close to it. But when you assemble as many guys as he did, and they had some good guys on the bench. They had some good bats that they couldn't crack the lineup. They had some super talented arms that probably couldn't get the innings they would have gotten in a lot of places because you had Ianson and Anderson eating so many of them. But point being, you assemble as much talent as Jay Johnson did. Some of it's not going to work out, but you get that much, and most of it will, and it did, and I think that was the difference. I mean, Coastal's pitching numbers, we talked about how impressive they were, but as people said in the chat all series, hey, look, those guys are great, but LSU guys are on a different level. They've not seen 98, 100, 102 like they're about to see, and I really think that was the difference in the series.
I just think LSU, they're always going to have dudes, no matter who the head coach is. Like what makes them different to me? Jay Johnson is a head coach that just pushes all the right buttons. Like he's just got a really good sense and feel for the game. So like I know it all comes down to the players, but when you have somebody like Jay Johnson, like that's a big difference maker too. What I remember about LSU, like you're high on Dickinson, the second baseman, like coming into this season. Like I thought he was good, but like I don't think he maybe lived up to the potential of like what we thought that he would potentially be. Like he had a chance to be maybe a first or second rounder. And like again, I just thought he was consistent, solid, steady all season long. And this was just a mix of like newcomers, like from the portal and JUCO kids, and then like their talented high school guys.
Yeah.
And like Jay Johnson and his staff, fantastic job of just like figuring out what worked, what didn't work. And here they are, winners again of the whole thing for the second time in 3 years.
Well, and I remember his first year, they had, oh, good grief. They had Cruz and Trey Morgan were terrific players. But like they would get to the bottom of the order, 7, 8, 9 couldn't hit. And I'm not saying they had studs everywhere, but like Stanfield was a respectable bottom of the order hitter. Played pretty good defense and center. That guy he improved as a hitter and a pitcher at LSU. I mean, a hitter and as a defender at LSU. I just think you look at the bottom part of the roster and the contributing guys. They didn't have a Chase Shores coming out of the pen. They didn't have. I mean, it was. You would get to this 8, 9 guys. They were just automatic outs when Jay Johnson took that job. I think the recruiting and the improvement of the depth. I mean, we look at the top end guys, but that's part of it too.
Yeah.
You got me thinking, Chris. So I looked it up. LSU in the coaches poll was preseason picked 4th in the SEC. A&M, Tennessee, Arkansas.
Let's see where I had them.
Yeah, that's wild. I know in our little preseason thing that we did that you came up with, Jay, your idea, like they were my number 1 pick.
LSU?
Yeah.
I'm gonna see where I had them. While I'm looking that up, all right, let's get to the fireworks of the first inning. Jay, you didn't get to see it, did you? The ejections?
I've seen it since. I didn't see it live, but I've seen it since.
Okay.
And somewhere Kevin O'Sullivan's smoking a big fat cigar and drinking a Budweiser Heavy and saying, karma's a bitch there, coach. So you may want to shut your pie hole to get tossed in the first inning because now he's going to miss, the first 2 or 3 games of next year?
Mm-hmm.
So I was watching it live when it happened, and they never had the camera was on the runner on second base that just stole second base. And then like the next thing you know, Carl Ravage is like, he's just been tossed. And it's like, what happened? And then and then they just keep the camera on the head coach and you clearly see him like, that's 3. And I don't know. I'm of the opinion, like in that spot, in that situation, like you can't really toss him in the first inning of the national championship series. But then again, like, I mean, I get it. If somebody's coming up to me and telling me to F off and telling me I'm bad at my job, like you're kind of asking for it. So I see both sides of it.
Yeah, because he did not write a Hallmark card about his disagreements. No. And here's the thing, man. I don't care the stage or the setting. You go out there and you hit the F-bomb to an umpire, you are rolling the dice. Period. Somebody here said the umpire should be fired. No. Why? Should the coach be fired? Because he completely lost his cool? Because if he had a player do that, he'd have been ticked off at the player. I mean, no, the coach shouldn't be fired.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I get it. And I understand the viewpoint, whether it's Game 7 tonight in the NBA Finals and let them play, or the final drive in an NFC championship game where the refs don't want to decide it on pass interference. Well, if you're going to let the guy maul the guy,
You are deciding it.
You're then deciding it by inactivity. So, I mean, there ain't a whole lot of college baseball games where the either coach can come out there and cuss an umpire up one side and down the other and expect to continue the game.
Yeah. I just thought, like, both just read the room. Like, again, you're kind of asking for it if you're the Coastal Carolina head coach, and you just go all in on that situation. It's like, man, it's like, even if you win this game, like, they're going to need you tomorrow.
Right.
So don't, like,
right.
why risk it getting tall?
And that's my biggest, because if he's trying to motivate his crew, you hear very good college basketball coaches talk all the time about intentionally getting a technical. But there's a difference between intentionally getting a technical, getting kicked out of the game, and especially with this rule, he then wasn't going to be in the dugout tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you something. The hit by pitch thing last night where Dickinson got called out. Tough spot. A lot of people had an issue with it, but why was it called?
I mean, I think it was called because he kind of just turned into it a little bit.
And because that's the rule. LSU catches a bad break where a pickoff throw hits an umpire. Runner had to stay on first. Probably would have had a runner on third. Ended up, even if he gets to second, it cost them a run because of what happened since. Why was the play what it was?
Because you can't choose. You can only choose to enforce the rules.
Yeah,
because
that's the
plate,
rule.
You're not choosing the rules.
When
you are to enforce the rules.
Yes, when you're warned, okay, this is the rule. You're warned. You can't come out of the dugout, and you come out of the dugout, and not only do you come out of the dugout, you go on a tirade. What is the rule? You're ejected. And
really, it's been universally known to everybody in the chat, the three of us. Hell, my dog Bo Jackson laying here on the floor, who's about to take a nap, so y'all can hear him. You can't argue balls and strikes.
Right.
I mean, that's a rule.
He crossed multiple lines. And by the way, I think this goes on too much. And I'm just a little inside baseball here. I'm hearing that this is going to be a point of emphasis next year. Conduct, I think, towards anybody and everybody. Umpires, other teams. I think some of the stuff that's been going on, the FUs rounding the bases, that kind of stuff. I'm hearing the room temperature on some of that is there's going to be more crackdown of those types of things. So if you're a player coach who can't keep your cool, you better spend your fall, winter working on that, because you're going to get ejected if you don't. I mean, you remember a couple of weeks ago, big controversy, and I don't keep up with softball, but a couple people sent it to me. The Texas hitter doesn't touch home base after the home run in the mob scene. And people were just going crazy. Well, that's not a home run. So now the umpire, because he gets abused, is not supposed to call it by the book, because people are going to hurl insults at him on Twitter because the guy can't keep his cool. I'm sorry, I'm in the minority, but I didn't have an issue with it.
Yeah. I mean, to me, like, you gotta keep your cool in that situation.
Right. Completely agree.
But like, having watched a lot of his like press conferences this week and like in the build up to this championship series, man, it just kind of seems like that's his personality. Like that is the way he's wired. Chris, until you text me, I totally forgot about the Kevin O'Sullivan thing. And how he called, he didn't say his name, but everybody on the planet knows who he's talking about and what happened in the regional.
And I've just linked it in the chat. You can see he went off for an hour or a minute and a half on Kevin O'Sullivan and how he lacked respect for officials. And I mean, listen to every word of it, because there's no different. Well, I mean, it was a different circumstance, but that's what he went and did. And I would play it here if I could figure out how to do it. But, I'm sorry, but that was just hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know, the whole thing of like how he kind of got mad at the guy like emceeing the press conference, and like when he introduced him and how he got upset of like how you pronounce or how you're supposed to say their nickname. It's not the Chanticleers, and it's like,
Yeah.
man, come on, man. Like,
They've officially changed it, though. I don't know if y'all have seen this. I follow them on social media. They've now officially changed it to the bitchin' called third strike guys. That it's the CCS bitchin' called third strike guys.
All right, I'm going to try this again. This was a disaster a few minutes ago when I tried it.
the Cups.
No, not the cups.
Okay.
The cups aren't out yet, but I'm going to try to share the screen. I'm just going to play the whole clip.
I feel like, Graham, we should do like what we had to do in elementary school when there was a tornado drill. We need to get underneath our desk.
Underneath
Hands
above the head.
Yes, and here it comes, because
Yeah, here we go.
Thank goodness he didn't have OF.com up there when we little OnlyFans action.
Wrong guy for that. Well, anyway,
what was the other one? Boys World.
Man, it's been too long since we had a Boys World.
People are going to get the wrong idea, but that's all right. Well, if I could, I wish I could do this. I would like to play that entire minute and a half. I'm going to put it in the chat again. You guys can just see this tweet for yourself and look it up.
But yeah, I totally forgot about that and was like, yep. I mean, that's the thing about baseball. Like, what goes around is always going to come back around. I think David's fired up in the chat here.
I think so.
We're getting letter by letter. Go Tigers.
Well, anyway. Yeah, and there was an umpire too that was tweeting about it and supporting the umpire in that case.
Yeah, the home plate umpire. It was a different umpire that tossed the first base coach.
Yeah.
But the fact that all that happened like in the first inning was just bananas. And then you had the one umpire that just like tumbled and hit the deck. Like it's like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty certain the first base coach walking down the line did not ask that guy, "Hey, what'd you have for lunch?" I mean,
no. It wasn't, "Hey, how's your mama doing?"
Yeah, how's your mama now? If you're from the South and you hadn't been asked how's your mama now, then you're just visited.
Thank you for the super chat, Cheddar. Congrats on your Tigers. Thank you, LA Mom, two of our loyal viewers and listeners so far.
Man, they're just peeling off cash. It's celebration time in the Pelican State.
If you love your Tigers, leave a super chat. This
and
is like
it could be Missouri Tigers for all we care. Like we've got a Missouri Tiger baseball.
There we go. Hey, you never know. You never know.
He's the one.
Yeah. Thank you, Spencer. We sure have enjoyed being here. And we're going to do more stuff for the draft. We'll start hitting the portal in a couple of days. We've seen a lot of SEC teams add some players. I think Tennessee added Henry Ford today, or from
big future in cars.
Big future in cars and hitting balls out of the park. I like this.
Yeah, you're not wrong. When that happens, like, you shut up and you don't say a word.
Yeah. Tyler's right. LSU had some freshman arms that didn't pitch much either.
Yeah, like Schmidt.
Yeah, well, Schmidt. I don't know if Schmidt pitched in the playoffs.
I'll go you a step further. And I know it was about health as much as anything. When I looked and y'all were talking about LSU may have been every bit as talented, if not more talented, but A&M had all the preseason hype. LSU had two pitchers on the preseason All-SEC team. You want to guess who they were?
Chase Shores and
LSU did.
LSU did.
Which is Smith.
One of them would be no worse than round 1, pick 3.
Well, Anderson would be the other.
The other one was Gavin Guidry.
Oh, that's right. I'd forgotten about him. Yeah. Good call.
By the way, we got another nice super chat.
Thank you, Galen. That is an LSU name for sure. Galen Gautreaux.
Gautreaux.
See, I would have gone Gatriox there.
Come on, you know better.
You don't need a.
How long have you been around, Jay Greason?
55 years in October.
There you go.
October what? I'm an October birthday too.
October 3rd, same birthday as Dennis Eckersley and Dave Winfield.
I'm the 5th. You know, most Americans are born on October the 5th of any other day.
You know why? Because their parents got knocked up on New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve, baby.
Wow.
I didn't learn that.
What you learn here, LA Mom.
Yeah.
Really,
now do the math for Valentine's Day.
Hey, Galen, my boy Galen Gatriox is also an October 3rd birthday.
Meant to be.
It was. We're kindred spirits, Galen.
Look at that. Gatriox. Oh, man. This has been fun. Like, I'm ready for some rest, but it's always sad that a little lesson for you, Jay Greason.
Hey, not only that, I say yes, ma'am, and thank you. And LA Mom, how's your mama now?
Yeah. By the way, I think the trivia question for this LSU team is like, LSU won the national championship in 2025. Who was the one team that beat them in postseason play?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember?
The worst team in the tournament.
The Little Rock Trojans are the only team to beat LSU.
Man, that's crazy. When's the last time a team won every game in postseason? Has that happened? I'm sure someone's done it.
Well, the Moses Malone Philadelphia 76ers almost did it, but they fell one short because remember Moses famously predicted reporter asked him how the playoffs were going to go, and he went, faux. They were going to win every game, every series in faux.
Did he die last year, this year? Or am I dreaming that?
He may have drowned. He was trying to part the Red Sea, and it just didn't work out.
Jeez.
Goodness.
What?
Uncalled for.
He hadn't been with us for a minute. 2015.
Oh, has it been that long?
Well, was he the first one that I'm pretty sure he was the first one to get drafted out of high school.
I think you're right.
I don't know if he was the first. He's the most notable, but Daryl Dawkins also did it, and he was about that same age.
Yeah. Didn't have quite the career,
No.
to say the least.
Great nickname, though.
Yes, one of the best. All right, questions, comments, super chats. We are not staying around. I mean, I guess you guys could if you wanted to. I've got a birthday party to attend to.
So, Chris, what do you get a 14-year-old for a birthday?
Keg.
Ask my wife. She does all that.
I mean, is there ever a question that keg is not a great answer?
You were never be babysitting in our house, Jay Grayson.
Well, hey,
Just
that's
clear
by
that up.
design, sir. We used to have a guy that worked at the newspaper who we would occasionally ask to paginate, and he purposely did it terrible so he never had to do it again. That's like being the world's worst grass cutter if you hate cutting grass. They're never going to ask you to do it again.
Right.
Yeah. It's like when your wife asks you to do the dishes, you just butcher it the first time.
You break like two
never have
things
to do it
and use like
again.
a fringe important mug. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't know.
You guys are way smarter than me. You should see, like, the yard. We've got my wife. We had two ladies over here yesterday. They were here for about 3 hours. They were setting up this gigantic balloon arch with drapes and everything. We got tables that we borrowed from a caterer. I mean, it's going on about 50 feet behind me.
Before we sign out of here, there are a couple of folks asking. Y'all may have touched on it before I signed in late. I was getting out of the pool. Shore's coming back, yay or nay?
No.
Depends on how big the NIL is.
Well, somebody will pay him 7 figures at the major league level. I promise you he'll get a 7-figure signing bonus. He was too good out of high school. Everybody remembers Chase Shores. I would not be floored if he slipped into the first round.
I think if he gets 7 figures, he's going to want to start his clock, his professional clock. So, I'm sure if he goes back to LSU, he's going to make a lot of money. But if you get 7 figures guaranteed, which he's got a chance to, go ahead and start your clock.
Yep.
No, Hal, maybe not a keg then.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if they get 3 first-round pitchers this draft.
Yeah, they got a chance. And we think William Smith's going to be another one at some point.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean,
and there will be more. That Devin Sheeran, who was on the sidelines all year, I think the Mount St. Mary's transfer, is that where he was from? I think
somewhere like that. Yeah,
he's a pro arm. I mean, there's lots of them.
Could you imagine if Smith was awesome? Everybody kind of thinks he's going to be awesome, but if he was awesome, right out of the gates, LSU, I mean, they'd be unstoppable.
Yeah. Picks for 26. Gosh, way too early. LSU will be in the conversation. Florida will be in the conversation. Texas will be in the conversation. Vanderbilt will be in the conversation.
Tennessee will be in the conversation because they're gonna money whip people.
Probably. I mean, they got one today. Arkansas is going to be there. I would think Coastal will be back.
Missouri, don't you sleep on Missouri, Chris?
I'll tell you one that you haven't said yet that's going to be a factor.
Mississippi State. Yes. Yes. Yeah, why not?
See?
It's more than half.
Trey's agreement with
Auburn's going to be loaded, I think.
More than half.
Yeah. We will start sorting that out. I've done a little, well, by little, I mean really little research on the portal, but we'll start kind of piecing rosters together for next year and kind of have a running copy of what people have added in the portal. We'll get ready for the draft. We're going to do a draft live stream. And by the way, the draft has changed. I think we talked about this last night. Rounds 1 to 3 are going to be Sunday. I think that'll be Sunday night. I haven't seen the time. And then they will do the rest of the rounds through round 20 the next day. So no more 3 days of the draft.
All-Star weekend, too. It's in Atlanta.
So that'll be fun. And we'll be here for it. I think we'll do a live stream. We'll be talking about how it impacts the SEC teams, both on the commitment and the player side. Yeah, looking forward to it. And again, if you're joining us late, we're going to go a little shorter tonight than we normally would. It's for no other reason than I've got a family thing going on that I need to get to. So we took time out from that for this to help our LSU fans, and there are many of them here, and they're great and they're gracious. We love you guys. So, happy to do it for you, but I've got to get on with my afternoon. And with that, thank you to all you guys who've been here this season. Again, not anywhere near the end of our baseball coverage. We'll have stuff probably coming later in the week on the portal. Might take a couple days to rest and maybe do some prep work, but we will have that soon. We'll do some members-only stuff. The link is at the top of the chat. And also, don't forget to go GameTimeSidekicks.com. SE16, they will have their commemorative LSU championship cups and mugs and all that stuff up at the site soon, so check for that. Anyway, congratulations to Jay Johnson and the LSU Tigers on their second national title in 3 years. For Graham Doty and Jay Greason, I'm Chris Lee. God bless you. Have a great rest of your night. You've been watching our baseball content here at Southeastern 16.